Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back. This is the Daily Dharma. My name's Dina. Go ahead and take in that sage energetically, some sacred soul smudge. So, the Daily Dharma, as many of you know, is meant to take kind of the collective pulse of what's going on, what we are being reminded from spirit, universe, divine energies to pay attention to. I'm seeing the empowerment card as I cut this deck. Previous to going on today, I kind of felt the urge to talk a bit about the lunar eclipse coming up, but I've already said a little bit about that. I just want to say that this lunar eclipse is at the north node, not right on top. This is only a partial lunar, not a full on, so the orb is a little bit wider than it is at some eclipses, but we've got it with the north node, and that's representing our destiny, our growth point, the evolutionary journey, the fool or the hero's journey that we're on. And I'll say that when I went to pick up the code card deck today out of my basket that I bring outdoors, one of the cards from the Rebel deck tagged along, and it was saying, go solo. If there's something that you've been wanting to do, wanting to manifest, or waiting to do until you had somebody on board, I think it's kind of one of those messages talking about if you build it, they will come. And some of us have heard that before, and it gets a little bit frustrating because if we're building something for others, especially people like myself with a lot of Libran influences, we tend to want to work towards the best for all individuals, and how could we possibly take in all viewpoints? But Libra is pretty good at that. So if this is something you've been waiting on, I think that your blessings are somehow related to you taking up this concept, idea, manifestation, or you going out here to this new destiny is part of your soul path of gaining the courage and faith, and also, kind of even more importantly than the growth cycle, which we can get from many things, and we're already on that trajectory. I think that it's somewhat as complex and simple as to say that if we built it with others, it wouldn't be ours. Now, that seems to be something related to the ego on the surface, but I think that each one of us has something that we are meant to do, to be, to create. And whatever it is for us at this leg of the journey, this thing, energy that's coming to us is coming through us because it's for us, and perhaps for us alone at this point. And then once we design or build this thing into being, pull this energy down from the ethers and actually adapt and adopt that timeline into our reality, then the next leg can't come in. We're not always meant to see everything through the mysteries of life. The back of this card says alone time equals happier together. So yeah, there's something here about like trying to do something for other individuals, like saying, oh, well, I only did that for you, kind of, and not saying that you particularly are a martyr, but that perhaps there's some semblance of self-sacrifice that I'm just going to say for some, not for all, that represents part of us thinking that we're doing something for others, but these choices are kind of skewed into, with the solo card, it's old vestiges of codependency that we've been preconditioned and programmed to kind of operate in these ways, whether it's family of origin, cultural demands, religious dictates, or whatever type of dogma that's kind of clogging up our sacred remembrance and empowering what we're really truly here to be and to do. And so the the Libra references are about getting our justice, empowering the passions in our life, like doing it for what sparks our attention. Where does our curiosity want to take us? And so there was some type of pre-message going on. See if I can pull it in. It was something about that. Let's wait on it. Let's get some cards. I'm kind of struggling for those to come forward, and they'll come if they need to. So we have two cards popping out first, root chakra face up, and the change card here. So a shift in where we place our literal body, perhaps, where we make our home. And that can also be, oh, I knew it. I was just about to say, rooted into a family dynamic or a thought structure or belief, because we just talked about dogma and whatnot. Yeah, the scripts aren't really created. I let spirit just kind of wind me down wherever we're supposed to be leading. And I knew that there was something here about conditioning, programming, family belief structures, or institutional, whatever, fill in the blank, belief structures that are here to be shifted. And this can definitely take the form of generational curse breakers, if you will, the black sheep, the sacrificial lambs in the family dynamics or the workplace dynamic, friend groups, whatever. But this is talking about a newfound confidence and courage and faith that when you follow these impulses, that it's going to shift the actual ground that you stand on. It will be like you shifting the timelines, is like by you just deciding that you want something. It's like, I maybe some of you are cluing into a bit of restlessness right here. Oh, that naughty chicken looks like it's about to jump into my garden and feast on the last of my tomatoes. That is unacceptable. Oh, I may have to pause here in a moment. Anyways, let's see what's here. Sacral chakra, realization, coherence, dynamic, and crown chakra. It's like the realization that where we've been putting our attention and maybe where we've been finding our value systems, how our emotions have been flowing. It's like we're coming across a new, deeper understanding at the dynamics at work and play within our psyche here. And we're shifting the way that we're plugged into that. And we've gained this courage, like I said. Let's get just 3 more for this and move on. Maybe just one. Dynamic wants to come out again. So a shifting dynamic, and it's something to do with you taking the reins and going solo in some manner. And this could even be just you standing apart from a groupthink mentality where you are speaking your mind instead of just going with what everybody else thinks or says. So maybe this also represents you somewhat separating away from other individuals who aren't necessarily on the similar timelines or purposeful life path that you are. Underneath the deck, romantic love. Interesting. Whenever we look at this, some of you may be making significant physical changes in your romantic life. With Go Solo at the top, that looks like some separation energy for sure. But okay, so look at what's under the deck now. We have Gaia and Miracle. I like to see that with romantic love when we're talking about leaving something behind. What's below Miracle? Merkaba and emergence of consciousness. Beautiful. So creating this separation, or perhaps moving on from a dissatisfying or perhaps even lower consciousness, toxic even situation in your life, however you would define that, is actually nothing to be feared here. It's like Gaia's got you. The Great Mother has got you. Let those emotions rise to the surface to inform you of what miracles you're ready to create and bring in for yourself. And sometimes when there's an oppressive situation, which can literally, it doesn't even have to say that this individual is some type of bad situation, but when it stops feeling uplifting, fulfilling, and we feel that we've done what we could and our path is spiraling upwards and another individual's is, whether it's spiraling downwards or moving laterally into areas or value systems that we can no longer support or have in our energy sphere with Merkaba here. So there's an awareness gathering that somebody is, I just want to say, like, this is going to sound heartless, but they're, kind of interfering with your blessings and your process, and they're putting a kink in your game. What is that supposed to mean? I can't pull in the saying. But anyways, the situation is going to expand once you're out from under this dissatisfying, um, uh, this squeezing circumstance. It's the tension and the stress here that I'm feeling is once you finally make the decision and gain some space for perspective, it seems like you're going to feel your energies expanding. And maybe this is already happening for a number of you. Okay, so we'll stop there with that deck. So a shift and change in romantic love, which may be definitely impacting a family dynamic, an acceleration of healing of faulty belief systems from any of the before mentioned areas of life or influence. And it seems like you're really setting a new tone. I don't know if you're getting a new vibe, a new look, searching for new information, new individuals um, to meet people in a new way here. There's a lot of shifting, changing, and desire for the new, desire for change, and what has been has shown itself to not be the vibe for you, and that's enough to define that. Union, okay. We had that card yesterday. Confidence. Maybe there's something else that has caught your eye too. And it could be unity consciousness. But let's see, that pile there is already face up, and I saw a few underneath. Again, we keep getting right. I know that because of the continuous influence of the cards here, they keep telling us write. To write things down is to help us to manifest, to put those invocations of voice into writing and then to read them aloud, or to write our demands, to file some type of paperwork or certification. It could be any number of things, but something that we are needing to produce a record of to remember later on. Maybe it's something you've written in the past that you're needing to go back to, but this is helping you, and it could definitely, absolutely be your mediumship capacity growing and changing. And um, yeah, you may be someone who is really excellent at free writing or channeling higher entities, energies, and realms and putting them, transcribing them. So let's get a peek at this. Yeah, I kind of knew mediumship was under here. I didn't see it, but I kind of felt it with the others. So celestial change of mind. We already knew that one was on the books. Starseed, mediumship, and fairy magic. So that's very interesting. So union is like, I feel like putting our roots into the soil where we can thrive, where we can connect with more unity, consciousness, and union with your spiritual, your commitment to your calling, your path, your higher mind. And so with change of mind and change of root, it's like moving beyond what anybody perhaps had spoken over you in the past and told you, oh, this is the best you'll become, or you're maybe even a loser. These individuals, that could not conceive of your magical capacity were projecting their own limitation onto you. And now there's the need to shift that whole thing up and to put something into reality, because root chakra is the materialization, the unification of your thought and deed in your heart space, calling you forward to make this plan and to then change your vibration so that you are actively making moves every day, whether energetically or physically, to manifest some type of endeavor or undertaking into reality. And it can absolutely be a new partner coming in for many of you that will assist with this process. But again, I feel it's important to gain that sovereign independence. We keep talking about that. And so that may be one of the main reasons that you're pushing out of whatever you're leaving behind, because it represented old forms of codependency, attachment, and oh, well, that's the best you'll ever do. Just settle for that. And it's like, yeah, but it's sucking my soul out type of a vibe here. It might not be so dramatic. But on the higher timelines, it's like, there is no time, but at the same time, there's no time for scarcity. There's no time for um, rolling with the devil, so to speak, when we could be up in the higher realms having just an absolute ecstatic experience by working with the energies that we're here to co-create with. So you're here for a reason. The celestial is like that converging energy of our choice point and how we spin the story new, and the change of mind coming through as like the change of vibe. And now it's like the mind is actually wired differently by leaving something in behind you. So you're tuning into your celestial star seed roots here, and that's helping you to maybe shift the minds of those around you. So this may be a cutting edge, never before done or seen endeavor that you are engaging here. And it helps other individuals on the consciousness evolution. But yeah, you're channeling these higher vibrational energies, and it seems like fairy magic here. It's kind of an interesting one for the moment, I feel. It's kind of like we need to shift our mind out of these competition, conflict energies, and justifications, and into our divine justice, where we converge these energies and it becomes that kaleidoscope. And, if you've ever looked at a kaleidoscope, it's the hand that turns it that moves around the objects that we're prismatically viewing through. It's like wearing a set of literal glasses in a way, because it's like that monocle, spectacle, telescope type of periscope, whatever you could compare it to. It's like the lens that we look through, and we are the hand that turns the focal point, the focus energy. And we can get kind of lost and caught up in the magic of indulgence instead of following the heart space. It's kind of like both of them could be looked at to be like, oh, well, you just do whatever you want to do. But it's not whatever you want to do on the ego level, but on the heart level. If your heart calls you to take a rest, it may be because your mind, body, spirit knows that you need to replenish, or you need to integrate some type of higher information, or that your body's busy doing something else that we might not know much about on the surface level. But as mediums and star seeds, if we can honor our bodies to say, okay, is this an urge of the longing capacity, which separates us from our passion or from indulgence or coping mechanism behavior? Or is that a divine channel of what I should be doing right now? And if I need a rest and I feel like being productive at the same time, maybe I could get pen and paper and make my plans and prepare my ship for takeoff, was kind of how that came through yesterday. I just want to get a few out of this astrological deck here. Interesting. So that was kind of a little stack. They're a little slippery, but I like this I like this lineup already. We've got trine sextile, symbiosis. Those are the helpful aspect patterns that can become in the zodiac circle. You'll see the wheel of the sky as the map of the sky is, and when things hit a certain degree, it's either tension or helpful or can be overtaking. So these are the more helpful ones. Trine being more easily activated. The sextile takes a little bit of effort to negotiate and activate. And I feel like that's where we're kind of being able to take into context here. I'm seeing this deer energy for the first time with the doves here on that one. But it's where we take the soul urge and stop shaming or blaming the self and say, well, do I actually need to sit and do nothing? Or should I sit with pen and paper type of a thing? It's the choice that honors the inner voice, but also says that if I still need or want to be productive, maybe I could kind of sit here and ideate, brainstorm, simplify the process, delegate, whatever needs to be done to assist the entire system to move faster. Sometimes taking a break is the best way to get something done faster, and it's counterintuitive to the program that we've received. But working and efforting is not always a direct result of the outcome. Solar calm, clarify. Yes, that's what we're doing with the need to sit back, the need to relax and allow the soul urge to be differentiated from the ego urge, to put it into proper perspective, and then write out the next leg of the journey. There are guides, messages, really seeking to create union with us, to come fully into our beingness so that we can create this thing that is both helping us to shift out of an old dynamic and helping others to shift out of their stagnancy as well. And here we have sixth house, sustainability. It's the house of Virgo. Look at that beautiful meditative being here with that enormous aura generated from the crown chakra here, that Merkaba field. You may be trying to juggle many issues in your life. You may have a service-oriented life, whether that's a caretaker to family, friends, so on, or to like social work or networking or being a leader in some type of a way. Even leadership and being a boss can be expressed as quite a service-oriented position, because in order to get your goals met, you need to jump through a bunch of hoops. So taking the time to sit in your own peacefulness, perhaps in the sun with that solar energy here of the solar calm of clarification. It's like, in order to call in, oh yes, solar calm. So there have been so many phenomenal fluctuations in the solar anomalies going on this year, flares and coronal mass ejections and so on. And I'm not an expert in that, but I do sometimes catch, is it Stephen Burns? He's got a broadcast in that. And if you are interested in seeing what anything's doing, you can definitely follow him, and you'll get all your charts and all your receipts right there in one space. And he also does a good job of connecting with the metaphysical world and the implications of those things, not just all science, but both. And so it's talking about, to me, in the moment, how those solar codes come into our field and how then we are able to either clarify and weave together a good future out of those energies, or whether they keep creating more anxiety, overthinking, more restlessness. Restlessness is evidence of two things: both the need to sit down and clarify and get straight on what it is that we're wanting to do with our time, what the soul and the heart are calling us to do, not just the brain, to calm the brain and sit and sink down into the chakra centers of the energy behind the surface level urges. But it's then to integrate those into light codes and to become something more, something greater. And that is the process that is trying to come through right now. And I also caught, I'll give another shout out, Soul Alchemy, no, Rising Soul Tarot, I think is her name. I should have written these down. I didn't know I was going to talk on them. But she talked about how, we're always taught that the light is coming into the eyes, and then it's taken into the processing centers of the brain ultimately, and then we determine our reality. And this is so much what was coming through yesterday to today, and then how we see what we see, and it's a mixture of how that reflects off the prismatic inner nature and inner dynamics of self. That convergence card is like all of these light codes hitting us. And what she was talking about is how this is like us, that we can, there's an animal in the bushes, that we can also then perceive and project these photons out from the eyes, which is interesting. It's like us being this like the old school film projectors, and actually broadcasting our reality in that way, creating manifestation of energy, changing the way that we see things, changing the way we view things. And that the eyes, in this reading, are related to the sustainability, the comfort zone of that. But actually, the sustainability of the self is to witness the cosmic nature of that, and the cosmic capacity of harnessing the astral to shift the mind, and therefore to create and be that conduit that pulls in the mediumship capacity from the star seed origins, the actual cosmic root, and pulls that into beingness here, and actually sustains the earthly model. It sustains Mother Gaia. So let's keep moving here. There was something else here too. Yes, one other thing. Yesterday I was having trouble figuring out what I was talking about. When I was in the second reading, it was talking about this individual in the card looking back out into the cosmos, and it was like, as she was taking in everything that she took in, whether it was psychic mediums, collective vibrations, evidence of behaviors and experience, things on social media, things on theater, stage, and so on, these were coming through in my reading that way, like that then this individual was able to really break this down and decipher this. And she was talking about, which is kind of the way it was through for me, about how it's like frame by frame, and the higher our vibrational frequency goes, the more that we can see each individual frame in its entirety before passing it along. Now, my Reiki mentor, he actually was able to, he was a psychic from an early age, and the way he was able to describe this was that at all times it's like he's got these reels and reels of information going on across the forefront of his third eye, and that they would move so fast. It was so multiplicity oriented here, and not just singular, not just the two eyes creating this singular converging image, but he was able to dissect it and like pull one or two frames out of that. So similarly, yes, we are doing that. And when we slow down, the restless energy is because we understand that all of these vibrations are there for the choosing. We're being told and told, pay attention, slow down and pay attention. But life keeps moving so fast, it seems. And it's because we're sped up in old paradigms that are still clearing out. And the more that we sink into our systems here, the more that we're able to clue into how to take our service work out into the public sphere of the 10th house, which represents our calling, our reputation, our purpose, and our work. And it could be misconstrued as the jobs that we do here, but the 10th house is where we stand in our authority to author our reality. Came through yesterday, was the main basis of the reading. And so with Go Solo, and with this unicorn even on this deck, it's like, no unicorns here. It's like signs, signs, that song, everywhere signs, long-haired, freaky people like unicorns need not apply type thing. And it's like, then create your own pathway where you understand and honor the sacredness of the diversity of the pathway forward. You've already climbed so many of these mountains yourself. You are a way shower and a guide to assist humanity. Yes, oh my goodness. Vesta, hearth, that is the sacred fire, the sacred inner fire. And it brings up the Vestial Virgins, which does not represent someone's, in the origins of the word, does not say that they had never had sexual relations. It means that they were pure of essence, that they have been through the fires and purified their soul and connected with the unity consciousness, with the eye of the beholder, the eye of God, goddess. And so it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, yes. Midheaven, pinnacle. This is the pinnacle of the 10th house where we really tap into our inner calling. And it's where everything starts to really come alive for us. I'd like to get an oracle card, and I'm feeling pressed for time because I know we're at the end of the video. So yeah, there's you're reaching the pinnacle in your own experience here, where you're recognizing that all of this has been for a reason, and you're ready to break through some type of finish line in your previous existing timeline. Pick your battles. It's like, yeah, with the castle. Once you're in your castle, you will necessarily need to create some type of moat and drawbridge, and to protect your sacred vestial hearth from lower vibrational energies that would steal from you on any level, or create any type of discombobulated, anxious, undermining, negative influences in your life. It's like you got to cleanse and clarify your own energy, and exponentially your environment, taking back the home. So pick your battles. As in war, so in family life, some battles or arguments cannot be won. All families argue, whether it's parents arguing with each other, parents with children, or siblings with each other. Communication is key in establishing boundaries. If you don't argue, don't lose your temper, be rational and deliberate. But remember, sometimes it's important to just move on. And here on the back side, we've got Sun Tzu said, "He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight." So yeah, keep your cool. And thus it must and may be known that the leader of armies is the arbiter of the people's fate, the man on whom it depends whether the nation shall be in peace or in peril. Yeah, so take very seriously the individuals that are able to come into your energy and your sphere, because you're being asked by spirit to cleanse, clarify, and be ready